Hello my dear accountancy friends, welcome to this lecture on chapter 6, dissolution of partnership firm. Now when it comes to partnership firm, we know that partners are coming together, people from different backgrounds of life are coming together and they are doing the business. But the topic which we are going to talk today, the name of the topic is dissolution of firm. It means the partners who were working together under the brand name of a partnership firm have decided to part away, decided to dissolve the business and have decided to go away from each other, take away their capital, stop the business, discontinue the business. That's what we are going to do. So as an accountant, what is the role to be played by us when a partnership is dissolved, when a business of partnership is discontinued, when assets of the partnership are sold off, when the liabilities of the partnership are paid off, and the capital of the partners is returned back to them, and then everybody goes back to home. In such situation, what is the role to be played by the accountant? What are the accounting entries to be passed? Which ledger accounts will be prepared? What should be the order of entries? These are the points which we are going to discuss today. So as usual, I generally consider first few lectures purely for the purpose of theory discussion, and thereafter I consider the lectures for practical problem solving. So here also, for the topic of dissolution of partnership firm, I am going to invest this lecture purely for the purpose of theory. Very interesting topic. This is talking about death of a business. Dissolution means discontinuance of a business. So let us first of all understand what is the meaning of dissolution of partnership. Now first of all, be clear, there are two different terms. One is dissolution of partnership and one is dissolution of partnership firm. Both of them are not one and the same. Although the word partnership is used almost in both the words, dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm, still they are not one and the same. These two words cannot be used interchangeably. They are two distinct words that are talking about two different concepts. Remember, partnership is defined as a relationship between the persons who have agreed to share the profits of the business carried on by all, or any one of them acting for all. So partnership is a relationship. Whenever the relationship changes, it implies that the old relationship is dissolved. Whenever the relationship changes, it implies that the old relationship is dissolved. So when you are specifying that A and B were two partners and they decide to bring C as a new partner, in reality there are two transactions which are taking place. The old relationship between A and B got dissolved, and in place of it, the new relationship between A, B and C got created. So the old relationship got dissolved, that means old partnership got dissolved, but the business was not dissolved, because the business of A and B is going to be continued by A, B and C. When we are saying that A, B, C or X, Y, Z were three partners, out of which Z decided to retire, in that case it is again amounting to dissolution of partnership, because the relationship between X, Y and Z is going to change. Old relationship will be substituted by the new relationship. Although business is continuing, still the relationship is changing, that means it will amount to dissolution of partnership. So generally I can specify when there is an admission of a partner, or there is retirement of a partner, or there is death of a partner, or there is change in profit sharing ratio. I am repeating again: admission of a partner, retirement of a partner, death of a partner, or there is change in profit sharing ratio. In all these four different situations, admission, retirement, death and change in PSR, we can say that it is dissolution of partnership, but the business is still continued, therefore it is not a dissolution of partnership firm. On the other hand, if the partners A, B and C, X, Y and Z, L, M and N, whoever are the partners, if they decide that from tomorrow onwards, let us dissolve the partnership and let us discontinue the business. So two different things. Let us dissolve the partnership, our relationship, let us break it, but let us not only break the relationship, let us break the business also. Let us break not only the relationship, but let us break the business also. So we will sell off our assets, we will pay off our liabilities, we will tell our employees to go back to their home, maybe finding another employment, and we will take away our capital. From tomorrow onwards we may not be working together at all, neither we are going to work nor anybody else is going to continue with this particular thing. In that case, it is not only the relationship which got discontinued, but it is also the business which got discontinued. Such a situation will be called as dissolution of partnership firm. So when we say dissolution of partnership, it means the business goes on, only the relationship of the owners change. But when we say dissolution of firm, it means the business also gets discontinued. Business cannot go on. And this topic, today's topic, is talking about what? It is talking about dissolution of partnership firm. So we are not talking about dissolution of partnership, we are talking about dissolution of firm. Let us summarize the points which I discussed just now. What are the different distinctive points or distinction points between dissolution of partnership and dissolution of firm? What is the meaning? Dissolution of partnership means it may or may not involve dissolution of firm. Every time when a partnership is dissolved, there is no guarantee that the firm is also dissolved. But whenever there is dissolution of firm, it implies that the relationship is also gone. That means it implies dissolution of partnership also. So when a partnership is dissolved, firm may or may not be dissolved. But when the firm is dissolved, partnership is always dissolved, because partnership is purely relationship, whereas firm means business. The nature of dissolution of partnership is voluntary. Admission of a partner, retirement of a partner, death of a partner, or change in PSR, this is all voluntary. Whereas dissolution of firm, the nature may be either voluntary or it may be compulsory. Why compulsory, sir? It is easy for us to imagine that it is voluntary. Partners come together and they decide that we are tired now. We have been working together for past 20 years, past 30 years, and this is a good time for us to retire. So voluntarily they deciding to retire. This is easy for us to imagine. But why it should be compulsory? In some situations it may become compulsory. For example, if a partnership is created for a specific purpose, let us say for construction of bullet train, 2 or 3 different entities have come together and they have created a partnership firm, and then the work of construction of bullet train is over, bullet train route or whatever it is, that work is over. In that case, the partnership automatically should get dissolved. Or sometimes it may so happen that a partnership is started for a specific period, that let us become partners for next 5 years, let us work together as partners for next 5 years. Then upon the completion of 5 years, the partnership is automatically dissolved, it is compulsorily dissolved. Or it may so happen that the partnership firm is not in a position to pay its liabilities. Therefore, the liabilities have gone to the court of law, and then the court of law has ordered that the partnership firm be dissolved, assets of the firm be sold off, and liability should be paid off. In such a situation, although partners were willing to continue, since their firm did not honor its commitment, since their firm did not pay its liabilities, and the liabilities have gone to the court of law, and the court of law, upon request from the outsiders, have passed an order for the dissolution of partnership firm, then in such a situation, although partners are willing to continue, they cannot continue, the firm will be compulsorily dissolved. So dissolution of partnership is always voluntary, but dissolution of partnership firm can be sometimes voluntary or it can be sometimes compulsory also. Continuation of business. In case of dissolution of partnership, business continues. That's what I have discussed. Admission of a partner, old business still continued. Same location, same employees, same product, everything is continued. Only thing is that owners were A and B, now the owners will be A, B and C. Or owners were X, Y and Z, now the owners will be X and Y. Or the owners were having equal share 1:1:1, now the owners will have a different ratio 2:1:1. In such case, it is called as dissolution of partnership, but the business is going on. Old relationship is getting substituted by way of a new relationship. So it is also called as reconstitution of partnership, admission, retirement, death, or change in PSR. On the other hand, when you are talking about dissolution of firm, the business is also discontinued. Assets will be sold off, employees will be told to go back to home, liabilities will be paid off, and partners' capital also will be paid off. That is dissolution of firm. What are the requirements? The requirements are, it requires revaluation of assets and liabilities for reconstitution of the firm. When we are thinking about admission or retirement or death, the most important account which we prepare is called as revaluation account, because the incoming partner do not have the right to enjoy the profits on account of appreciation of the assets prior to his admission. Similarly, he does not have the responsibility to share the losses on account of depreciation of the assets prior to his admission. Or in case of retirement or death, the retiring partner or the legal executives of the expiring partner, they have a right to enjoy the profits on account of appreciation of asset up to the date of retirement or death, or they have a responsibility to share the losses on account of depreciation of assets up to the date of retirement or death. So we are required to create a revaluation account because business is still continued. Only thing is that either the incoming partner or the outgoing partners are required to be adjusted for their share in the profit or losses on account of appreciation or depreciation. But we are not going to sell the assets. We are going to continue with the assets. Business is continued. So we will not be selling the assets. We will not be realizing the assets. We will not be converting them into cash. Hence, the account which we prepare is called as revaluation account. On the other hand, when you are talking about dissolution of partnership firm, we have already agreed that the business will be discontinued. There is no need to revalue the asset. Let us sell off the assets. There is no need to revalue the liabilities. Let us pay off the liabilities. Therefore, we will not be considering revaluation of assets and liabilities, but we will be indulging ourselves. We will be entering into the activity of realization of assets and payment of liabilities. So in case of admission, retirement, death, or change in PSR, in other words, in case of change in the partnership relationship, what we do is called as revaluation of assets and liabilities, but in case of dissolution, what we do is called as realization of assets and liabilities. And then comes the next part, final closure of books. Dissolution of partnership does not require final closure of the books because books of accounts will be continued, business will be continued. If the business is continued, there is no need to close the books of accounts forever. Books of accounts will be again continued. Balance sheet may be prepared, but then again next year opening balance sheet will be used, and then next year transactions will be continued. But take the case of dissolution of firm, since we have agreed that the firm is dissolved means business is discontinued. Business is discontinued means assets are sold off. Assets are sold off and liabilities are paid off. That means there is no need to maintain the books of accounts. So books of accounts will be closed once and for all. Now there is no need to continue with them. That means there is a final closure of books of accounts. Okay. So those are the different points which are very, very important to understand the distinction between partnership dissolution and firm dissolution. And last point is court order. A court order cannot dissolve a partnership, but a court order can dissolve the firm, because court cannot force partners to have a different PSR. Court cannot force the partners to admit somebody. Court cannot force the partners to retire somebody. That means court cannot go for changing the existing relationship. The relationship is something which is agreed by all. Partnership is a relationship between the persons who have agreed to share the profits of the business carried on by all, or any one of them acting for all. The definition of partnership says that it is a relationship which is coming out of agreement, not out of court order. So dissolution of partnership does not involve court order, but dissolution of firm may involve. Always it will involve, that is not the condition. It may involve court order. So if the court order is passed, then it will be amounting to dissolution of firm, not dissolution of partnership. So these are the points which should be kept in mind before we are going for our journey to understand the accounting treatment of dissolution of firm. So please be careful. We are not going to consider the accounting treatment of dissolution of partnership, because dissolution of partnership means either admission or retirement or death or change in PSR. So those are three different separate topics. Today's topic is dissolution of firm, when not only the relationship is stopped but also the business is stopped. Not only the relationship but also the business, both of the things are stopped. In that case, what is the accounting entry? That's what we are going to consider. So our today's discussion is talking about accounting treatment in case of dissolution of partnership firm, not dissolution of partnership. We are not talking about change in relationship, but we are talking about discontinuance of business. I hope it is clear in your mind now. What are we looking at? So please be careful. A layman, normal person, not a commerce student, may feel that okay, dissolution of partnership and dissolution of firm are one and the same things. But a commerce student must remember that these two are not same terms, they are having totally different meaning. When you say dissolution of partnership, it may either be admission of a partner or retirement of a partner or death of a partner or change in PSR. But when you use the word dissolution of firm, in that case it does not amount to any of these four things, but it talks about discontinuance of business, disposal of assets, repayment of liabilities and repayment of capital. Okay, so for that purpose, how the accounting treatment will have to be given, that's what we are interested in understanding. So dissolution of partnership versus dissolution of firm, I hope it is clear to all of you. And now we are going to consider the accounting treatment of dissolution of firm. So what are the types of dissolution? What are the types of dissolution? For 12th standard syllabus, we can say that dissolution problem can be of three types. The problems of dissolution for 12th standard can be of three types. Either simple dissolution where no partners are insolvent, either simple dissolution where no partners are insolvent, that means all partners are solvent. So if partnership firm's assets are insufficient to pay off the liabilities of the partnership firm, in that case the partners can bring in money from their house. That is called as no partners are insolvent. Simple dissolution. Second type of problems, dissolution under insolvency. That means probably some partners may be insolvent. Insolvency is there, but whose insolvency? Some partners are insolvent. Let us say there are three partners A, B and C. Then A is insolvent but B and C are solvent, or A and B are insolvent but C is solvent. So either one partner is insolvent or two partners are insolvent, but at least one partner is still solvent. Those kind of problems are second type of problem, dissolution under insolvency, where some partners are insolvent. And third type of problems are dissolution under insolvency, same situation, but when all partners are insolvent. That means if there are three partners A, B and C and their firm is dissolved, and unfortunately the assets of the firm are insufficient to pay the liabilities of the firm, assets of the firm are insufficient to pay the liabilities of the firm, then the partners are supposed to bring in the money necessary from their house, from their private property, because there is unlimited liability principle in partnership. But unfortunately all partners are not having any assets at their home. All partners are not having any assets at their home, or their assets are insufficient to pay their private liabilities. In such a situation, it will be called as third type of problem, dissolution under insolvency, when all partners are insolvent. So our problems will be of three types: simple dissolution or a dissolution under insolvency, which is having two subcategories, when some partners are insolvent, when all partners are insolvent. So we will have to read the problem carefully to understand what kind of accounts will have to be prepared and which steps are required to be followed, because each of these three different types of problem will have different steps to be performed, and in fact it may require some different type of accounts also. So we'll have to be careful while reading the problem and identifying whether we are going to consider simple dissolution, or we are going to consider dissolution under insolvency where some partners are insolvent, or we are going to consider dissolution under insolvency where all partners are insolvent. So what is the type of problem, that will have to be understood carefully in the reading stage itself. So let us now consider, when we have read the problem, dissolution ka problem, what stages should be there in our mind always, that whenever there is a problem of dissolution, which stages should be performed. For example, admission, we already know that open necessary ledger account, transfer of balance sheet items here and there, and then capital brought in by the new partner and goodwill brought in by the new partner, or adjustment of goodwill, then adjustment of revaluation. There it can be appreciation or depreciation of assets and liabilities, recorded, unrecorded, and dunya bhar ka cheeze. And then it will be closing revaluation account, finding out profit or loss, transfer it to partners capital in their old partners capital in their old PSR, and then close partners capital account, and then balance sheet should tally. So those are the stages in case of admission of a partner. Similar are the stages in case of retirement or death of a partner. Now we are thinking about stages in dissolution. The stages in dissolution can be divided into three categories: stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3. Stage 1 I am calling as transfer stage. Stage 2 I am calling it as realization or disposal stage, and stage 3 I am calling it as distribution stage. Stage 1 is transfer stage, stage 2 is realization or disposal stage, and stage 3 is distribution stage. So transfer stage I am calling it as a T or I'm denoting it by the word T, letter T. Stage 2, realization or disposal, I am denoting it by the word R. And stage 3, distribution stage, I am denoting it by the word D. In the first stage, transfer stage, we are going to transfer the assets and liabilities from the existing balance sheet. In the second stage, we are going to realize the assets and we are going to pay off the outside liabilities. And stage 3, that is distribution, now all outside liabilities are paid off, then we are going to close the realization account and we are going to close partners capital or current account. We are going to give them the cash and we are going to tell them bye bye, see you, or not to see you actually speaking, because it is dissolution. So Tata, no need to come back. 3 stages: transfer, realization, distribution. T, R, D. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. In stage 1, transfer. In stage 2, realize. In stage 3, distribute. Let us now consider the accounting entries involved in each stage. Please don't be under wrong impression that since there are only 3 stages, that means there are only 3 entries. That is not the case. Each stage may have multiple entries. Let us try to understand what kind of entries may be involved in each of these stages. So first stage is transfer stage, second stage is realization stage, and third stage is distribution stage. Let us now consider the transfer stage. In the transfer stage, first step, transfer is a stage, and I am not talking about stage now. In this stage of transfer, I am talking about step. Okay, so step 1 is open necessary ledger accounts. Open necessary ledger accounts. Which ledger accounts to be prepared? First one, realization account. Second one, partners capital account. And third one, partners current account, if any. So there is no compulsion that every problem of dissolution we must prepare partners current account. That is not the case. If the existing balance sheet already includes partners current account, then you will prepare partners current account. If on the other hand, existing balance sheet does not have partners current account, then you will not prepare partners current account. So it is an optional account, not a compulsory account. Same is the case with partners loan account. It is to be prepared only if it is given in the existing balance sheet. If it is not given in existing balance sheet, it can be ignored. We need not prepare it. Optional account. But realization account, compulsory account. Partners capital account, compulsory account. And cash or bank account is compulsory account. So these many accounts are going to be prepared by us: realization account, partners capital account, partners current account, partners loan account, and cash or bank account. Generally, realization account will require 16 to 18 lines. 16 to 18 lines. Partners capital account 8 to 10 lines. Cash or bank account 8 to 10 lines. And same is the case with current account and loan account. Loan account hardly 4 to 5 lines. Current account 6 to 8 lines. So I am repeating again: realization account 18 lines. Partners capital account 8 to 10 lines. Current account 8 to 10 lines. Loan account 4 to 5 lines. And cash or bank account 8 to 10 lines. This is how the ledger accounts will be prepared. Simple accounts they are. From account number 2 to account number 5, it is easy for you because you have already seen these accounts, how they are prepared. We have done it in admission or retirement or death, so that's not a problem. Realization account is a totally new account. Remember, realization account is सबसे बड़ा account. तो सगळ्यांचा मोठा भाऊ आहे. Realization account is the eldest brother of nominal accounts. So P&L account is our usual छोटा भाई. Realization account सबसे बड़ा भाई. Realization account is the eldest brother of P&L account. It has all the powers of P&L account, plus it has more powers than P&L account. In P&L account, we specify, let us consider only revenue items. On the debit side, we will have purchases, trading account, P&L account. On the debit side, we will have purchases, but we will never write our assets on debit side of trading account or debit side of P&L account. We specify assets should go to balance sheet, and only goods can come in the trading account and P&L account. On the credit side, we are going to consider sale proceeds, that is buy sales. But that is the sales of what goods? If the assets are sold, we don't pass the entry for sale of assets in trading account or P&L account. We pass a separate entry in asset account, find out the profit or loss on sale of asset, and that we transfer to P&L account. But the entry for sale of assets is not made in trading account credit side or P&L account credit side. So P&L account is a limited account, small account, youngest brother of nominal accounts. it says only current year revenue items will be considered in P&L account. But realization account says that I am the biggest nominal account. I am the biggest nominal account. So for me, there is no distinction between stock and land and building, stock and plant and machinery. I do not distinguish between fixed assets and current assets. I do not distinguish between revenue items and capital items. For me, everything is same. For me, everything is same. Remember, realization account is now the true friend of the accountant. Think about it. If you are going in a shop, what happens in a shop? Let us say you are going in a dress shop to buy maybe a Punjabi dress for your sister. What will happen? You will find that there is a table. Behind the table there is a shopkeeper. Behind the shopkeeper there is a cupboard. So cupboard, shopkeeper, table, and then you. So between you and the shopkeeper there is a table. Behind the shopkeeper there is a cupboard which is full of all the dresses and dress materials. What the shopkeeper will do? He will take out the dress or dress material, keep it on the table. He'll show it to you. You will select whatever you want to be gifted as birthday gift for your sister, and then you will go for bargaining. Ultimately you will make payment and then you will go. This is how the transactions happen in case of sale of goods. So the table there is helping you for the purpose of selecting what you want, what you don't want, how to bargain, etc. Nothing more than that. The table on which the dresses are laid out. Realization account is such a table, but this is an invisible table. This is invisible table. You can't see this table, but this is very special, powerful table. On this table, what are you going to write down? What are you going to keep? On this table, you are going to keep all the stock. Whatever stock is kept in the cupboard, that will be kept on this table. Entire stock. Plus the cupboard will be kept on this table. Plus the entire shop will be kept on this table. Everything of the business will be kept on this table, invisible table, that is called as realization account. And on one side of the table, this invisible table, there is accountant who is sitting, who is saying that okay, everything is now laid out. I want to sell off all the assets. Everything is laid out. I want to sell off the assets, and every assets are kept on this realization account. Land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, vehicles, stock, debtors, investments, everything is sold here. Now we are not just selling dresses now, we are selling everything, we are selling business itself. So this is a very powerful table. It does not distinguish between stock and investment. It says everything is available for sale. When you go to a normal shop for a normal purchase, he will say that shop is not for sale, only dresses in the shop are for sale. But now since the partnership firm is dissolved, business is dissolved, business is discontinued, so the entire shop is for sale, not just the goods in the stock, but the entire shop itself. So land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, vehicles, stock, debtors, investments, loose tools, everything will be laid out on the table called as realization account. On one side of the table there is accountant. On the other side of the table there are partners as well as outside liabilities. Then this accountant will go on selling all the assets to outside parties. Will collect the cash, and then he will tell the liabilities to come and collect their cash. So he will pay off the liabilities. Then whatever cash remains, that he will give it to the partners. Partners will also go away. He will also go away. Now nothing is remaining with us now. That invisible table has also vanished. I hope you can understand what is happening. So realization account is a powerful account. It's the table on which all the assets of the business which is discontinued are going to be displayed for the purpose of sale. And remember, on this side of the table there are partners, on that side of the table there are outsiders. That is not the case. Now partners are also going to say that please give us our capital back. So this side of the table there is the accountant or the liquidator of the business who will liquidate all the assets, who will dispose of all the assets, get the cash, and then distribute the cash first to the outside liabilities, and after paying outside liabilities he will pay the partners capital. And after partners capital is paid off, everybody has gone, assets are already gone, liabilities have also gone, and partners have also gone, cash account is zero, everything is gone. So business is closed, chapter closed, things are over, let us go ahead. That's how the things will be happening. This is called as the power of realization account. It's an invisible table which can carry not only the stock, but it can carry everything, long term as well as short term, fixed as well as current. All assets, all liabilities will be considered on this table. I hope you can understand what is happening. So first account, realization account, it is which type of account? It's a nominal account, but it's the most powerful nominal account. So debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. That rule will be followed by realization account. Remember that particular thing. So we are in the transfer stage, first stage, and we have completed first step. That is called as open necessary ledger accounts. Now let us consider second step. Second step is transfer of assets and liabilities from the existing balance sheet. So the problem must have given you the balance sheet before dissolution. From that balance sheet, now we are having 5 different accounts. We will transfer the entire balance sheet in any of these 5 different accounts. Maybe different items will go to different ledger accounts. So which account will go to which side? That's what we are interested in understanding. So we are now considering the second step. First step, open necessary ledger accounts. First account is realization account, then partners capital account, then cash or bank account. These 3 accounts are compulsory, and 2 optional accounts. If the problem is already having partners current account, we'll prepare the same. If the problem is having partners loan account, we'll prepare the same. Otherwise we'll not prepare them. They are optional accounts. Once this part is complete, then we'll go for the second step. Second step talks about transfer of assets and liabilities from the existing balance sheet. From the existing balance sheet. Repeating for the last time, from the existing balance sheet. So what are you doing? You are taking out from the cupboard and keeping on the invisible table. So when you are going for a normal purchase of a dress for your sister's birthday, and the shopkeeper is taking out a dress and keeping it on the table, and you are asking the shopkeeper what is the price, the shopkeeper will tell the price which is mentioned on that label, price tag. This is the price. There is no guarantee that you will purchase it at the same price. There is a chance that you will bargain. You may try to reduce the prices by asking for a trade discount, or maybe cash discount, or maybe your good relation with the shopkeeper, etc. That's what you are going to use. But probably you are going to purchase the dress at a different price. But most important, when it is taken out from the cupboard and kept on the table, at that time if you are asking the shopkeeper what is the price, then he is going to tell you the price which is mentioned on the price tag. Similarly, when we are taking out from the balance sheet, now cupboard is balance sheet and table is realization account. Cupboard is balance sheet, entire balance sheet, all assets, and table is invisible table, realization account. So at that time you should always consider which value? Book value, the value which is kept in the cupboard. That is the price tag which is kept in the cupboard. That means it is a book value. So when we are in step number 2, I repeat, when we are in step number 2, we are always considering the book value. Remember, problem will have balance sheet and problem will have adjustment. In the balance sheet, different items will have a particular value, and in the adjustments they may again tell you that land was sold at rupees so and so, or building was sold at rupees so and so, or stock was sold at rupees so and so. So for land, for building, for stock, you will have 2 different values, one value in the balance sheet and one value in the adjustment. The balance sheet value is called as book value and the adjustment value is called as agreed value. I repeat, balance sheet value is called as book value and the adjustment values are called as agreed values. When we are in step number 2, we are going to ignore all the adjustments. We are just going to focus on the balance sheet, because the name of the step is transfer of assets and liabilities from the existing balance sheet. So whatever is there in balance sheet, that is what we are going to transfer. In the balance sheet, whatever value is there, that value we are going to transfer. Therefore second step is performed at balance sheet value, and balance sheet value second name is book value. That's why I have written it specifically. This step is at book value, not to confuse. Now I know that you cannot see what is written behind me, so let me disappear for a moment and discuss all the things, and thereafter I'll reappear on the screen. See, now we are considering only the liability side, name of the liability, where to transfer it, and what is the journal entry. That's what I have considered. So partners capital account, where to transfer? It will be transferred to partners capital account. Now remember, we are on the liability side. Anything on the liability side should go to either of the 5 accounts. anything on the liability side should go to any one of the 5 different ledger accounts which we have prepared in step number 1, but on the credit side. So liability side must go to some or other account credit side. So partners capital account will go to partners capital account credit side, and balance sheet name and ledger account name, both of them are same. That means there is no entry required, journal entry is not required. Next is partners current account. If partners current account is there in the existing balance sheet, then it should be transferred by us to partners current account credit side because it is coming from liability side. So again, journal entry is not required because the name of the account in the balance sheet and name of the account in your step number 1 is exactly same. Since the name is same, that means there is no need to pass any journal entry. Next, partners loan account, if it is there on the liability side of existing balance sheet, then it should be transferred to partners loan account, again credit side, because anything of liability side must go to credit side. But the specialty is, in the balance sheet name is partners loan, in the ledger account name is partners loan. That means it is going to its own account, so there is no journal entry required. I hope you remember this discussion which we have made, that if at the end of the day you go to your friend's house for a night out, then on the next day you will have to come out to the school or college from your friend's place. But if at the end of the day you are going back to your own house, then there is no need to be specified where you are gone. You are going to your own house, there is no need to pass any entry. But if you have gone to your friend's house, it is necessary to specify that son of so and so or daughter of so and so has gone to somebody else's house. So when you are going to a different ledger account than the given balance sheet, then you will have to pass a journal entry. Otherwise, if you are going to your own account, there is no need to pass any journal entry. So first point is partners capital account, partners current account and partners loan account. These 3 accounts will be transferred, the balances of these 3 accounts will be transferred to their own account credit side, and therefore there is no journal entry. Next item is past undistributed profits. So if it so happens that in your balance sheet on the liability side there are past undistributed profits such as general reserve or P&L account or reserves and surplus or reserve fund, etc. In that case, they should be transferred to either the partner's current account or the partner's capital account, as the case may be, credit side in PSR. Sir, which PSR? Old PSR or new PSR? Now this is a tricky question. Actually speaking, this is a completely misguided question. There is no need to consider old PSR and new PSR. The concept of old PSR and new PSR is only in case of admission, retirement or death of a partner. In case of dissolution, since the business itself is dissolved, there is no question of continuation of business thereafter. That means there is no question of new profit sharing ratio after dissolution. So there is only one PSR, that is old PSR, given PSR. Sir, but where to transfer? Capital account or current account? If there is a current account, then please transfer it to current account. If there is no current account, please transfer it to partner's capital account. But sir, there are 3 partners or 4 partners or 2 partners. Okay, then divide that general reserve, divide that profit and loss account, or divide that reserve fund to those existing partners in their profit sharing ratio. So the entry will be something of liability side is required to be closed. So whatever you want to close, that will have to be debited. Entry will be general reserve account debit, P&L account debit, reserve fund account debit to partner's current account or partner's capital account. Please remember, if you have transferred it to current account, you cannot again transfer it to capital account. Either current account or capital account. If the problem has current account, then you will have to transfer it to current account and not to capital account. But if the problem does not have current account, then it should be transferred to partner's capital account in their profit sharing ratio. Next one, provision against asset. What is the meaning of provision against asset? A simple example of provision against asset is reserve for doubtful debts, RDD. Reserve for doubtful debts. So balance sheet asset side there is an asset, and against that asset we have created some provision. So it can be called as reserve for doubtful debts, or it can be called as provision for depreciation, or it can be reserve for a discount on debtors, or it can be joint life policy reserve, etc. So all these accounts, if they are appearing on the balance sheet liability side, or any of them is appearing on the balance sheet asset side as a deduction from the asset, either they are appearing on balance sheet liability side or they are appearing on balance sheet asset side as a deduction from the asset. In such a situation, these accounts are required to be closed by transferring them to realization account. capital account will go to capital, current account will go to current, loan account will go to loan, undistributed profits will go to partners current account or partners capital account, credit side in their PSR, and provision against asset will not go to capital account, will not go to current account, will not go to loan account, but it will go to realization account. Realization account is the biggest account. It has all the powers of eating everything. जिसका कोई नहीं होता है उसका रियलाइजेशन अकाउंट होता है, सिंपल. जिसका कोई नहीं होता है उसका भगवान नहीं रियलाइजेशन अकाउंट होता है. ओके, सो रियलाइजेशन अकाउंट बोलेगा यस कम टू मी, आई एम गोइंग टू एडजस्ट दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. एंट्री विल बी आरडीडी अकाउंट डेबिट, provision for depreciation account debit, reserve for discount on debtors account debit, joint life policy account debit. To what? It should be transferred to realization account credit side. So to realization account. So why credit side? Anything of liability side must be transferred to credit side of some or other account. Next one, all other liabilities. So we have considered capital account, current account, loan account, past undistributed profits and provision against assets. Still there are going to be many liabilities pending, for example creditors, bills payable, bank overdraft, outstanding expenses, etc. So these accounts which are liabilities account, they should be transferred to, we have already discussed, जिसका कोई नहीं होता है उसका realization account होता है. So creditors, bills payable, bank overdraft, outstanding expenses, etc. will all be transferred to realization account. Sir, which side? Anything of balance sheet liability side should go to some or other account credit side, so it should be transferred to realization account credit side. So entry will be journal entries, creditors account to be closed. Creditors already have a credit balance, they are required to be closed, that means that will have to be debited. So creditors account debit. Bills payable account debit, because bills payable account is already a liability, matlab already a credit balance, that means it is already having a credit side extra, that will have to be closed, so it will have to be debited. So bills payable account debit, bank overdraft account debit, outstanding expenses account debit, and all these things will be credited to realization account. So to realization account. I hope everybody has understood the entry. If it is required, pause the video, write down the entries properly, and after that resume the video. So let me now go for the next point. We are still in step number 2. We are still in stage number 1, transfer stage, and in transfer stage we are in step number 2. First step was open necessary ledger accounts, that was over. Second step is transfer of assets and liabilities. Just now we have considered liabilities, now we are going to consider assets. Again, that what is happening here is taking from the cupboard and putting on the table. The name of the cupboard is balance sheet and name of the table is realization account or partners capital account or cash or bank account or a current account, वगैरह वगैरह. So obviously since you are taking it from the cupboard, that means it will have to be at the cupboard value, that means balance sheet value, that means book value. So this step is also at book value. So although problem may give you that the liability is settled at so and so amount or the asset is sold at rupees so and so amount, that adjustment in second step we are not going to consider adjustment. Second step is not of realization, not of disposal, not of payment, but second step is only for laying down all the items on the table, that these are the items and these are their current values of the as per the books of accounts, as per the balance sheet, nothing more than that. We are just keeping it with price tag. Afterwards people will come, they will bargain, we will also bargain, we'll try to get more money, people will try to pay less money, ultimately we'll sell off that particular thing. That is called as the agreed value, that we are going to consider afterwards in the realization stage. Currently we are in transfer stage. So this is at book value. Asset side, this step is at book value. Again same logic, name of the asset, where to transfer and journal entries. Cash or bank account should be transferred to, now remember it is asset side. Asset side means debit balance and it will have to go to some or other account debit side. Some or other account debit side. So cash or bank account should go to cash or bank account debit side, and since it is going to its own account, there is no journal entry required, so no entry. Partners capital account should go to partners capital account debit side, since it is going to its own account, no journal entry is required. Partners current account will have to be transferred obviously to partners current account debit side, so again it is going to its own account, no journal entry is required. Next one, past undistributed losses or fictitious assets. So in the past, if you are having undistributed profits like general reserve, reserve fund, reserves and surplus, P&L account, that goes to partners capital or partners current account. Similarly, if in the past you have suffered some losses or you are having some fictitious assets, which cannot be sold in the market now at all, which are representing those assets which we should have written off in the past, but we forgot to write them off, maybe deferred revenue expenditure. Then what is to be done with these assets? We will have to transfer them to partners capital account or current account. But which side? Now it will go to debit side. Why debit side? Because anything from liability side should go to credit side, and anything of asset side should go to debit side. So it will go to partners capital account or partners current account, debit side. In which ratio? In profit sharing ratio. But sir, capital account or current account? If the problem has current account, then you must go to current account. If the problem does not have current account, then you should go to capital account. So the entry will be partners current account or partners capital account debit to P&L account if it is coming on asset side, to advertisement suspense account if it is coming on asset side. So if there is any fictitious asset, deferred revenue expenditure, advertisement suspense account, or any loss which you have suffered in the past but was not distributed among the partners in the past, so it is still appearing on the balance sheet asset side, then such loss will have to be also transferred to partners current account or capital account as the case may be, and it will go to partners current or capital account debit side. So these accounts, current account or capital account, will be debited. That means P&L account or advertisement suspense account will be credited. Okay, and then all other assets. Now what assets are remaining? We have already considered cash or bank. We have already considered capital account which is appearing on asset side. We have already considered current account which is appearing on asset side. We have also considered fictitious assets or undistributed losses of asset side. Everything is transferred. Now what is remaining? Land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, vehicles, debtors, stock, investments, etc. So all other assets, they will be transferred to realization account debit side. जिसका कोई नहीं होता है उसका realization account होता है. So it will be transferred to realization account debit side. Entry will be realization account debit to fixed assets account, to debtors account, to stock account, to investments account, etc. I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, next one. Now some points to be kept in mind. All assets and liabilities from the balance sheet to be transferred at book values. Please remember book values. Do not consider the values given in adjustment, but please consider values which are given in balance sheet when you are in step number 2. Any unrecorded asset or liability should be ignored in this step. We are in step number 2. What is the step? Take out from the cupboard and keep it on the table. The name of the cupboard is balance sheet and the name of the table is realization account, partners capital account, cash or bank account, current account, loan account. That is the table where we are taking out from the balance sheet and putting in the table. So if it is unrecorded asset or unrecorded liability, matlab it is not there in the existing balance sheet. If it is not there in the existing balance sheet, but sir, there is an adjustment. It tells us that an unrecorded asset is sold off. Yes, that is okay. We are going to consider it afterwards. But currently in stage 1, transfer, step 2, transfer of assets and liabilities from existing balance sheet, we will say existing balance sheet is not recording the same. So I will not currently consider it. Afterwards I will consider it. At this moment I am just taking out from the cupboard and putting it on the table. So whatever is not in the cupboard, that cannot be put on the table just now. We will consider it afterwards. But in this step we will not consider it. So any unrecorded asset or any unrecorded liability should be ignored in this step. Should be ignored from the problem of dissolution. असं म्हटलेलं नाही आहे. I have never said that unrecorded asset and liability should be always ignored while solving the problem of dissolution. I have just told you in second step it should be ignored. Afterwards we will consider. When we will consider, that we'll see afterwards. First point, all assets and all liabilities from the balance sheet to be transferred at book value. If you look at the first rule, you will automatically understand second rule, because the book value of unrecorded asset is 0. That's why it is unrecorded. That means it will be ignored in this step, because we always want book values in this step. Okay, and the third point, let me disappear so that you can read it. If debtors and RDD are given, then debtors should be transferred to the debit side of realization account at gross value, and RDD should be transferred to realization account credit side. So try to understand. If in the balance sheet they have given you debtors inner column 1 lakh. If in the balance sheet they have given you debtors inner column rupees 1 lakh, and then they have told you less RDD 10,000, so outer column 90,000. So now there is a confusion. Sir, I want to transfer, second step, transfer of assets and liabilities. What should I do? then please transfer debtors of rupees 1 lakh to realization account debit side and RDD of rupees 10,000 to realization account credit side. Don't write down 90,000 anywhere. In the existing balance sheet, inner column debtors 1 lakh, in the existing balance sheet, inner column RDD 10,000, in the existing balance sheet, outer column 90,000. That figure of 90,000, outer column 90,000 is the net figure. We don't want this figure, we want gross figure. Consider the debtors account at which value? Debtors account is to be considered as transferred to debit side of realization account at gross value. Gross means which value? 1 lakh. So debtors will be transferred to realization account at gross value, that is before deduction of RDD. Debtors account will be considered before deduction of RDD, and RDD will be considered separately in realization account credit side. So these are the points which you should keep in mind while you are solving the problem of dissolution and you are in the first and second step, or you are in the first stage. First stage is transfer stage, and in which there are two steps we have considered. First step, open necessary ledger accounts. There is no journal entry required, it is just drawing the accounts. 18 lines, 8 to 10 lines, 8 to 10 lines, 4 lines, 4 to 5 lines, and then 8 to 10 lines. That's what we have considered. Step 2, if the problem is of journal entries, will require journal entries. If the problem is of ledger account, we should remember where to transfer that particular thing. And then some rules I have discussed. So here we complete the first stage, that is called as transfer stage. Let us now consider next stage, that is realization stage. Now everything is laid out on the table, invisible table, but land, building, plant, machinery, stock, debtors, investment, cash, everything is kept there. And then liabilities are also standing, they are demanding their money, and capital is also standing, partners capital, they are also demanding their money. So now first step we are going to consider, once we have completed the transfer stage and we have gone into or we have entered into realization stage, now we are going to start selling off the assets. Individual assets will try to sell off. We'll try to sell off individual assets. So assets realized and liabilities paid off. That's what we are going to do. We are going to realize the assets and we are going to pay off the liabilities. Let us consider first of all asset realized. Now be careful, this step is at agreed value. Now you have come into realization stage. Now you are not in the transfer stage. Now you are not taking out from the cupboard called as balance sheet and putting it on the invisible table called as realization account. But now you are taking it from the realization account and you are selling it to people. That means now you are going to bargain with the people, and then at the bargained price it will be bought by them and you are going to get the cash. So now you want a bargained price, adjustment value, agreed value. Now you don't require balance sheet value. Balance sheet value is a काम झालं. The work of balance sheet value is already over. That is transferred to realization account and etc. And then balance sheet values can be ignored by us thereafter. I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay. So now we are talking about asset realized. Now what can happen? There are two types of assets. One is called as a recorded asset and one is called as unrecorded asset. That means it is already there in the balance sheet, then it is called as recorded asset. And if it is not there in the existing balance sheet, then it is called as unrecorded asset. So if it is the recorded asset and it is realized, if it is the recorded asset and it is realized, in that case the journal entry will be cash is coming in, debit what comes in, so cash or bank account debit, and asset is going out, credit what goes out to asset account असं आपण म्हणणार होतो. पण तेव्हा आपल्याला आठवलं पाहिजे assets are not staying in their own account. Assets have already been transferred by us to realization account. Assets are not there in the cupboard now. Assets are in the realization account on the invisible table. So we'll say what is going out? Realization is giving us the asset, giving us the money. So realization account is going to consider that this is my income. No sir, you have sold an asset. If you are selling goods, then that is your income. That is true, but realization account never separates, never classifies revenue items and capital items. It says everything is income for me. Goods sold, income. Investment sold, income. Debtors realized, income. Assets sold, land and building sold, that is also income. So entry will be cash or bank account debit, and this is our income. Entry will be cash or bank account debit to realization account. Now sometimes it may so happen that a partner may specify this is a good car. When I was working with the partnership firm, I was always traveling by this car. I like this car. Now the partnership firm is dissolved and all the assets are going to be sold off. So this car is also going to be sold off to somebody. and then that somebody will give cash to the partnership firm, and then this cash will be used for the purpose of payment of outside liabilities as well as for payment of partner's capital. So that partner who is having a soft corner for that particular motor car, he may tell the liquidator that please, anyway you are going to sell this car, na? Why don't you give this car back to me? Anyway, the firm should give me back my capital. So if you are giving this car to me, we can consider that some part of my capital is already repaid. Good idea. Because what we are going to do, we are going to sell the car, get the cash, pay the liabilities, and then pay the partner's capital. If you are already giving the car directly to partner's capital, then the amount which should be paid to the partner to settle his capital account is going to get automatically reduced. So we'll say, okay, this is also good. So recorded asset may be taken over by a partner. In that case, the entry will be debit the receiver, partner is the receiver, partner's current account or partner's capital account debit. And this is our income. We'll call it as to realization account. So if it is realized, entry is cash or bank to realization. If it is taken over by the partner, it is partner's current account or capital account debit to realization account. Now comes most important point, that the problem is giving no adjustment about the asset, a recorded asset which was there in the balance sheet, which you have transferred to realization account debit side. But thereafter the problem is silent. The problem is not telling anything about what we did with that asset. Neither it is sold off, nor it is taken over by the partner. Problem is totally silent. Then what should we do? Then we should ignore such item afterwards. Okay sir, I will not transfer it to realization account. Phatka marunga. In third step it should be ignored. In the second step it should be considered. So from the balance sheet it should be transferred to realization account, and thereafter, since you cannot sell it, since no partner is taking it over, don't assume that sir I will still sell it. No, that's not possible. If nothing is mentioned, then we can assume that probably that asset is having no disposal value. Probably that asset is having no takers, no buyers. That means we could not sell it to anybody, so ultimately we must have thrown it away. Neither any outside party was interested in buying that asset, nor our partners were interested in taking it over to their house. So ultimately what we did, we just threw it. Since we threw it, we are not going to get any cash. That means nothing is coming in. So in that case, we are going to just ignore the transaction. So if a recorded asset is there, then first of all, it should go to realization account debit side in second stage, transfer stage. Thereafter, if it is sold, entry will be cash account debit to realization account. If it is taken over by the partner, entry will be partner's current or capital account debit to realization account. And if nothing is given, whether it is sold or it is taken over by the partner, nothing is applicable. In that case, we should not assume, okay, it must have been taken by partner. No, that's not allowed. Okay, it must have been sold for cash. No, that's not allowed. You should ignore it. Probably it was thrown away. And for throwing away, there is no entry. I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay. Next one is unrecorded asset. The assets which were not in the balance sheet. So when we took out from the cupboard called as balance sheet and put it on the invisible table called as realization account, these items were not there. But thereafter they automatically came on the table, not from the balance sheet, because in the balance sheet they were not recorded, but thereafter they came there. So how is it possible that an item is not there in the balance sheet but it will appear on the realization account, or it will be giving some cash? Possible. For example, the partnership firm has purchased some shares. The partnership firm has purchased some shares in the past, and in the past they purchased the shares at rupees 50,000. Then what happened? That there was a big share market crash, due to which they felt that the value of the shares is probably now gone to zero. So they wrote off the investment. They wrote off the entire investments. They specified less, written off. Full amount was written off. They did not tear off the share certificate. They kept it in their cupboard. They kept it in the cash box. They kept it in their tijori. But they knew that probably it is not going to be sold off by us. It is not going to give us any cash. So they ignored that particular thing. They just wrote it off. Investment less written off, full 50,000, outer column 0. So book value was 50,000, and in the past itself it was written off. So as per the balance sheet it is not there, but in the cash box it is still there. As per the balance sheet it is not there, but in the tijori it is still there. And then at the time of dissolution, when the accountant was checking all the furniture etc., he found there is one investment share certificate, and he found that although in the past it has lost its value, in past few years again it has again gained some value, so some cash is coming. This balance sheet is not showing investment, but still these investments are there. Or it may be furniture, or it may be vehicles which they have written off, let us say SLM, on SLM basis, straight line method, 20% rate of depreciation, straight line method. So in 5 years that plant and machinery or that furniture or that vehicle is already fully written off, because 20% for 5 years, that means 100%. So it is fully written off, but it was having a good life. It was having a very good life. We wrote off at 5 years by 20% rate, but it was having a good life, and today it is still in good shape at the time of dissolution. So in the balance sheet it is not there because it is already fully written off. In the balance sheet it is not there because it is already fully written off, but it is still in existence. We are using it and it is having good working condition. So at the time of dissolution we sold it off and we got the cash. So in the balance sheet it is not there, but in real life it is there. This is how it is called as unrecorded asset. So what can happen to unrecorded asset? Again same situation, either it is realized or it is taken over by the partner or no adjustment is given. If it is realized, again same entry, cash is coming in, debit what comes in, cash is coming in on account of our income, business is sold off, selling of the business is giving us income, income should be credited to P&L account, but there is no P&L account. We are having the supreme brother of P&L account called as realization account. Entry will be cash or bank account debit to realization account. If it is taken over by the partner, entry will be partner's current or capital account debit to realization account. Same entry, exact same entry for recorded asset realized, and for unrecorded asset realized, same entry. For recorded asset taken over, unrecorded asset taken over, same entry. And if recorded asset is adjustment is not given, ignoring it, similarly unrecorded asset, that means it is not there in the balance sheet, but it is there in real life, and afterwards we tried to sell it. People started laughing. They said that this is useless thing. We are trying to sell it, but it is useless for us. Nobody is ready to buy it. Partners are also not interested in taking it. Then again ignore the same. So it will get ignored in the second step also, because in transfer we should take out from the balance sheet. It is not there in the balance sheet. So in the second step it was ignored, and in the third step also it will be ignored now because it is not realizing any value. I hope it is clear to all of you. This step, third step, realization of asset, sale of asset, whether recorded asset or unrecorded asset, it should be passed at which value? Book value. And the rule to be kept in mind is that if nothing is mentioned, then the asset should be ignored afterwards in this step. Okay. So let us consider next point. Let me disappear from the screen. Always remember that in the absence of information about disposal of an asset, it is assumed that the asset is worthless. In other words, it is assumed to have realized zero value. That's why we have specified that it should be ignored here. I hope it is clear to all of you. If it is no adjustment is given, that means we can assume that it has realized zero value. It is just thrown away by us. Okay. So this is to be kept in mind in step number 3. We are still in realization stage, and now we are considering fourth step. This is an important step. Fourth step. Liabilities paid off. Assets are sold off. The liabilities will start saying that okay, now since your assets are sold off, you are having sufficient cash, don't forget to pay us. So you'll have to pay your liabilities. And here also you should remember that now you are not in the transfer stage, but you are in the realization stage. So you can tell the creditors that if our business would have been continuing, then we would have paid you after 45 days, because that is our credit period which was accepted by us. But since it is dissolved today, we are paying you immediately. So you are getting money maybe within 15 days. So if the business would have been continued, you would have waited for 30 more days, 15 days which are complete as on today, plus 30 more days, because credit period was 45 days. But you are getting money today itself, 30 days early. Don't you think you should give me discount? So you may demand discount from creditors. You may get some discount from creditors. So there is a chance that creditors may not be paid by us at book value, but we may pay them at their agreed value. So let us consider same situation. Just like assets, we are going to consider liabilities, recorded liability and unrecorded liability. If recorded liability is paid, entry is realization account debit to cash or bank account. Recorded liability paid is as good as expenditure, realization account debit, because all liabilities are already transferred by us to realization account. So they will get out of the business from realization account. Entry will not be liability to cash or bank. Entry will be realization to cash or bank. If it is paid by the partner or it is taken over by the partner, it is directly paid by the partner itself, or the partner is telling that I am taking it over today and afterwards I will pay it. That is also possible. In that case again entry will be realization account debit, because the liability is the receiver, but liability is not staying in its own account. Liability has already been transferred to realization account, so entry will be realization account debit to partner's current account or partner's capital account. And now comes the most important point of realization. Recorded liability, that means in the balance sheet it was there. So in the second step, when we were required to transfer the existing balance sheet to different accounts, we have already transferred this liability in our realization account. It is there in the realization account at book value. But afterwards the problem is silent. Problem is not telling you what did they do with the liability. Did they pay it, or did any partner or whether any partner has taken it over? Nothing is told by the problem. Problem is silent about payment of the liability. Problem told us that in the balance sheet liability is there, but in adjustment nothing is told about whether the liability is paid or not paid. In that case we must assume that the liability is paid off at book value. Sir, but in case of asset you have told us if no adjustment is given, ignore it. Yes, for asset if there is no adjustment we assume that it is worthless, hence it is thrown away, hence it is giving us zero value. That means there is no need to pass an entry, because accounting entries are passed only when there is money exchange. Since it is zero value, that means there is no money exchange, so we don't pass any entry. But in case of liability, if no adjustment is given, you cannot say that probably they are not going to pay off the liability. If they will not pay off the liability, liability will go to the court of law and will force them to make payment. So remember, if liability adjustment is not given, but a liability is already appearing in the balance sheet, so in the transfer stage you have already transferred the liability to the realization account credit side, then merely because afterwards there is no adjustment, you can't say, sir, let me ignore it. No, that's not possible. If there is an adjustment, follow the adjustment, pay it at agreed value. And if there is no adjustment, then you must pay it at book value. If it is paid, then pay it at agreed value as given in the adjustment. If there is adjustment that creditors paid at 10% discount or something, then please don't consider payment at book value, please consider payment at agreed value. But balance sheet is giving creditors and afterwards problem is silent. Adjustment is not telling you did they pay creditors or not, who paid creditors, nothing is mentioned. Then you should assume that creditors are paid at book value. Entry will be realization account debit to cash or bank account. Recorded asset, no adjustment is given, ignore. Recorded liability, no adjustment is given, assume that it is paid at book value. Entry will be realization to cash or bank, just like paid entry. Very important point. That's why I put a red star mark to it. Very important point. Okay. Next is unrecorded liability. If it is paid, entry will be same, realization account debit to cash or bank account. Paid or taken over by the partner, entry will be same, realization account debit to partner's current account or capital account. And no adjustment is given, then ignore it, because in the balance sheet it is not there and afterwards nothing is told. That means nothing happened, so there is no need to pass any entry. No adjustment is given for unrecorded liability, then ignore. No adjustment is given for recorded liability, realization to cash or bank at book value. Confuse व्हायचं नाही, don't get confused. Recorded asset, no adjustment is given, ignore. Unrecorded asset, no adjustment is given, ignore. Unrecorded liability, no adjustment is given, ignore. Recorded liability, no adjustment is given, then assume that it is paid at book value and pass the entry realization account debit to cash or bank account. Okay, let me disappear from the screen. If it is required, please stop the video, write down the entry and then resume the video. Okay. And then the important point, always remember that in the absence of information about payment of a liability, it is assumed that the liability is paid off at book value. In other words, it is assumed to, just a minute, in other words, it is assumed to be paid at book value. This word can be considered ignored. Okay. Yes. So these are the points to be kept in mind. Okay. Step number 4 is over. Let us consider next step. We are still in realization step, realization stage. Step number 4, step number 5 and step number 6. Now what can happen? We have sold off all the assets, we have paid off all our liabilities. For selling off the assets, probably we must have hired some good expert for the purpose of selling the assets. or we might have put some advertisement in newspapers for the purpose of selling the land and building, plant and machinery, etc. So we were required to pay the advertisement charges, or we were required to pay the person who was working as our broker for the purpose of selling the assets, etc. So those expenses which we are paying towards advertising for selling of the asset, or maybe paying brokerage to the person who is helping us to sell the assets, etc., they are called as realization expenses. The realization expenses can be paid by the firm. If they are paid by the firm, then entry will be realization account debit to cash or bank account. Expenses matlab debit all expenses and losses, and there is only one nominal account now, सबसे बड़ा भाई realization account, so entry will be realization account debit to cash or bank account. If it is paid by the partner, then remember that realization expenses is the responsibility of the partnership firm. So it is the expenditure of partnership firm. So it should go to realization account debit. But cash is not getting out of the pocket of the firm. Cash is getting out of the pocket of a partner. Therefore, credit will be given to credit the giver. Cash is not going out, credit the giver. Who is the giver? Partner's current account or capital account is the giver. So entry will be realization account debit to partner's current or capital account. Okay. Next one is step number 5. What is step number 5? Commission payable to the partner upon realization of assets. Sometimes, very rare situation, sometimes the problem may specify that one of the partner was appointed as the liquidator of the entire dissolution process, and then he was told that if he will sell the asset at a higher price, then we will give him commission. So it is as good as, instead of appointing outside broker, you are appointing your own partner as your broker for the purpose of selling the assets at highest price. It is nothing but realization expenses only. Entry will be realization account debit to partner's current or partner's capital account. Which partner's current account, which partner's capital account? That partner who is in charge of the realization process. Not all partners. That's why I'm not considering profit sharing ratio. This is respective partner, the person who paid or the person who sold off the assets. I hope it is clear to all of you. Step number 5 is also over. Now next step is payment of partner's loan. This entry is passed at agreed value. If no adjustment is given, then it is passed at book value, because our rule says that for liability, always first of all try to settle the liability at agreed value. But if there is no bargain and ultimately we are required to still pay it off, then it should be paid off at book value. Sir, but problem is silent. Problem has told nothing whether the partner's loan is paid or not. That is okay. Even if the problem is silent, still you should assume that partner's loan must have been paid. Partner's loan must have been paid. So entry will be, there are 3 different situations. Partner's loan, either it is paid at book value, or it is paid at higher than book value, or it is paid at lower than book value. Partner loan is paid either at book value, or at higher than book value, or it is settled or paid off at lower than book value. So first what you should do, you should pass the entry for whatever amount you have paid. Whatever amount you have paid, pass the entry. What is the entry you are going to pass? Partner's loan is the receiver and cash is going out. So sir, realization account debit to cash or bank account? Wrong. You cannot consider realization account. Why? Because partner's loan was not transferred by us to realization account. Partner's loan was transferred by us to a separate account called as partner's loan account. So partner's loan has not gone to जिसका कोई नहीं होता है उसका realization होता है. पार्टनर्स लोन कहेगा मेरा खुद का अकाउंट है, मैं रियलाइजेशन में गया ही नहीं. In that case, partner's loan is standing in its own account, so we will pay to its own account. Entry will be partner's loan account debit to cash or bank account. Then we'll close that account. We'll try to find out what is the balance of partner's loan account. 1 lakh. How much did we pay? Just example, 1 lakh. That means the account will be closed. It is paid at book value. There is no difference. Sometimes it may so happen that partner's loan balance sheet value is rupees 1 lakh, but it is settled at rupees 1,10,000. It is settled at rupees 1,10,000. That means you paid 10,000 rupees more. So if you are going to close partner's loan account, you will find that it is not going to get closed. It is having a balance of 10,000. It is a loss now because you paid at higher than book value. Then that is a loss to be transferred to most powerful account called as realization account, debit all expenses and losses. Entry will be realization account debit and close the partner's loan account. So entry is realization account debit to partner's loan account. Sometimes it may be exactly ulta. We may pay the partner's loan of rupees 1 lakh at rupees 90,000. We may pay partner's loan of rupees 1 lakh at rupees 90,000. In such a case, you have passed the entry, first entry, this entry for amount paid. You must have passed the entry of rupees 90,000. So partner's loan account will not tally. it will have a difference of 10,000, but this is a profit now, because remaining 10,000 you are not paying today and you will not be paying tomorrow, because partners loan is settled at lower than book value. So the entry will be, there is a profit should be transferred to nominal account credit side. Nominal account, strongest nominal account is there with us, its name is realization account. Entry will be partners loan account debit to realization account. Okay, partners loan account debit to realization account, that will be the entry we are going to pass. Okay, I hope it is clear to all of you. So this is where we are completing our step number 6. There are 3 stages. First stage was transfer, second stage was realization, and we have completed the stage of realization. If it is required, please pause the video, write down all the different entries and then resume the video. Okay, so let me now consider the next situation. Now we are in the third stage. The third stage is called as distribution stage. This is the last stage of dissolution. First was transfer, second was realization, third is distribution. In this distribution stage, we are going to consider step number 7, 8 and 9. Step number 7, close realization account, find out profit or loss, transfer it to partner's current account or capital account. Close realization account, find out profit or loss, transfer it to partner's current account or capital account. Now when you will close realization account, it will have either profit or it will have loss. Just like we used to close our revaluation account in admission, retirement or death. Similarly here also we are going to say the realization account, profit or loss, whatever it is, that will have to be transferred to partner's capital. Which partners? Obviously all partners. Which ratio? There is only one ratio because it is dissolution. So there is no tension, it will be transferred to them in their profit sharing ratio. If it is a profit, that means credit side of realization account will be heavy. So debit side balancing figure will come, entry will be realization account debit to partner's current account or capital account. If it is a loss, that means debit side is heavy, balancing figure will come on credit side of realization account. So entry will be partner's current account or capital account debit to realization account, in which ratio? Profit sharing ratio. So step number 7 is over. We have closed realization account, we have transferred the profit or loss to partner's capital in their profit sharing ratio. Next, close partner's current account and find out the balance, transfer it to partner's capital account. So close the current account, take the total of credit side, take the total of debit side, find out the balancing figure. Sometimes credit side is heavy. If credit side is heavy, then the balancing figure will come on debit side of current account. So the entry will be partner's current account debit. Partner's current account debit to partner's capital account. And if the debit side is heavy, that means balancing figure will come on credit side of current account. So current account should be credited. Entry will be partner's capital account debit to partner's current account. Simple entry, nothing special. So we have closed realization account, we have closed partner's current account. Now we are going to close the last account called as partner's capital account by transferring it to cash or bank account, and then the cash or bank account should tally. While closing capital account, you may find that credit side is heavy. If the capital account credit side is heavy, the balancing figure will come on debit side of capital account. So entry will be partner's capital account debit to cash or bank account. And if debit side is heavy, then balancing figure will come on credit side, then entry will be cash or bank account debit to partner's capital account. I hope it is clear to all of you. So this is where you are going to complete your step number 9, and then you will post the entries in cash or bank account. Cash or bank account should tally. Cash or bank account should tally. If it tallies, that means it is complete. Now in the case of one partner being insolvent or two partners being insolvent, we will have to consider some more entries, but currently I am not considering these points. Whenever that problem will come, at that time I will discuss those entries. Up to this point we can consider that almost all problems will have these 9 different steps. First step, open necessary ledger accounts. Second step, transfer of assets and liabilities. Third step, assets realized. Fourth step, liabilities paid off. Fifth step, payment of realization expenses. Next step, commission paid to partners capital if any. Next step, finding out realization profit or loss, transferring it to partners current account or capital account. Next step, closing current account, transferring it to capital account, and next step, closing capital account, transferring it to cash or bank account. Okay, so this is all we wanted to discuss about the theory of dissolution of partners. In case of other topics, many a times I was required to take multiple lectures for discussing the theory, whereas in case of dissolution, this is a very interesting topic, simple topic. One single lecture of theory is more than sufficient. So from the next lecture I am going to consider practical problems on the topic of dissolution. So thank you very much for being with me in this particular discussion, and join me for practical problem solving. Okay, so thank you very much. Bye bye.